Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be going over the old-time tune Darlin Cory in Clawhammer Banjo style. This lesson was requested as part of my Patreon. For those of you who don't know, if you sign up for my Patreon, you can make requests for banjo, old-time banjo, and folk guitar lessons, or just anything kind of in the folky world. There's a link in the description of this video. Feel free to head over there, sign up. Your support is greatly appreciated, and I love making these lessons. Yeah, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Happy to answer and provide any clarification. As well, there are other perks. I release music early. I actually just recorded a brand new folk album of original tunes that'll be coming out this summer. And if you're on my Patreon, you'll get to hear all of them first. I released my first album, Honey Baby, which is old-time banjo tunes. There's a link in the bio as well to that. And yeah, appreciate you guys checking this out. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And so now we're going to dive into this tune. This is Darling Cory. I learned this song from the Watson family version and from listening to Mike Seeger play. I've included a link to the video Mike Seeger that I particularly enjoyed listening to and picking up some things for this song. Really relies on a lot of trills and slides to get the cool sound that he does in this tune, and I really enjoyed playing this. So before we dive into the lesson, I am going to play through it. So this song is a blast to play. For playing along with this as well, as part of these lessons, I made a tab. You can find the tab in the description of this video. And I would encourage you to follow along the tab because there's especially a little bits where some of the syncopation, it would be really helpful to be able to look at the tab while you're watching this video. So to dive in, we are playing this song in triple C tuning. It's a big old power chord. And we only have two notes, G and C. Our drone string and our second string are tuned to G, like they often are. And our other three strings are all tuned to C. We have a low C in the bass and the same note up here, C and C. So what that lets us have is we actually have two drone strings because we have the drone here, but by having two strings here that are the same, we kind of get the effect of multiple drones, which is one of the cool things about playing the banjo. So to dive in, some of the techniques, we're really using a lot of these trills, hammer-on and pull-offs, and slides in this song. So this is a great tune for working on those. So that trill, just for the opening, I'm kind of doing this hammer-on, pull-off on the 4th fret of the highest string. So we get the feeling of... And all we're doing there is we're bum-dee-deeing, and on the bum, we're playing that open string, hammering on, and pulling off all before we diddy. And the main thing I'll tell you is that you just kind of want to have an even, the hammer-on and pull-off kind of splits that space nicely. And I would encourage you, I'm just going to play it slowly. I'd encourage you to play along to that if you don't have a good feel for these trills, and just try and match the feeling that I'm providing. So... And I'll speed up. That's just a fun technique. It gives a really cool rhythm to the song. It's just a really cool sound that you can get out of the banjo, especially in this clawhammer style. So then we're going to dive in the melody. The banjo is playing the singing line, so being familiar with this song can be really helpful to picking up this tune, because you know the melody follows pretty perfectly with "Now wake up, Darling Cory." So that's that first line, and we're just gonna start. You know, as you could see, I was starting that intro just by trilling. Whenever we're ready, after a ditty, we're gonna go open on the G string, 3rd fret on the G string, and then we're gonna slide to the 5th fret and bum ditty, and again, go back to the 3rd fret, slide to the 5th fret, and so we get. And notice I've used my middle finger for this, and that's because we want that index finger for this next note. So we went open, 3, slide, ditty, and now land your index finger on the 4th fret of the string right below. And from here, we're just going to do a bum ditty and then a drop thumb ditty. So that syncopation is, and if you want to, you can just do 2 bum ditties. But I love that syncopation where you get. So we end up to start. So we do a bum ditty, drop thumb ditty, bum ditty. And then once we've done that, we're gonna take our index finger off, play that C string open, play that G string open, then we're gonna go 3rd fret on the G string, and we're gonna do our 2 slide ditties again. So the feel that we end up getting for that first line is. Because we, right when we finish that line, we have our middle finger on that 5th fret. Before we play that next line, we can throw in a couple of our trills. So it could be good to practice your trills with that middle finger planted on the 5th fret. And that kind of gives you that first line. So we've just played. And from there we're going to play, so we just play "Now wake up, Darlin Cory." Now we're going to do "Tell me what lets you sleep so sound." And that melody, we're going to start again on that open G string. And we're going to go open, 3, slide, ditty, and then we're going to pull off on the 3rd fret, ditty. So we get. And we're just going to go on that low C string. We're going to go 5, 4, open. So the feel that we get for that line again is open, 3, slide, ditty, pull off, ditty, 5, 4, open. And after we do 5, 4, open, we can do some trails. So now we got half the tune. And so this next line is where we get a little syncopation that's a little funky. I encourage you to look at the tab if you're trying to get the feel for it. But we're doing the part that goes, "When the revenue officers are a-comin', when the revenue officers are a-comin', when the revenue officers are a-comin'." And so to start, we were just trilling as we waited. Or not waited, you know, in between the lines, we're trilling. And we're going to go on that low C string, we're going to go open, 4, slide, ditty, slide into the 5th fret. And then this is where we get a little syncopation that's funky, but open 4, 5, diddy, and then we're gonna drop thumb onto that 5th fret that we're fretting right onto the low string, and then instead of doing like a bum ditty from that drop thumb, because sometimes we do a ditty right after a drop thumb, we're gonna go back to the 4th fret and do the same thing, the 4, 5, ditty. So we get let me play that quick. Yep, so we get open 4, 5, ditty, drop thumb, 4, 5, ditty, 4, 5, open 3. So the feel we get is open 4, 5, ditty, drop thumb on the 5th, then 4, 5, ditty, 4, 5, open G, slide to the 3rd fret. And from that slide to the 3rd fret, I like to do a bum ditty, drop thumb ditty. So bum ditty, drop thumb. And after doing a bum ditty, drop thumb ditty, I like to do 2 trills. So that little section ends up going open. Right? So to kind of go over that one more time, because I feel like this is a little tricky bit. We have I'm going to play it slow. So final line, which is the gonna tear your still house down, and that is almost the same, or it might be exactly the same as the second line. So we get the open G, 3rd fret, slide ditty, pull up ditty, 5, 4, open, 5, 4, open. And sometimes on that final 5, 4 open, I like to take my middle and ring finger and play the same note, so 5th fret on the top and bottom, and I like to do the little like strum. That's a cool way to add some flavor to the song, so that last line, if you did that, would be so those are each of the pieces of the song. I encourage you to use the tab to kind of get a feel for what's happening, and also to be singing along, and as you play, try and figure out where the notes that you're playing go along with the words. That 3rd line especially has some funky timing in it, and I use a drop thumb to create the syncopation, but you could also use a pause, which sometimes feels more challenging to me because you have to kind of leave the claw hammering structure that the bum ditties provide. But yeah, overall, this is a super fun song to play. Please let me know in the description or in the comments if you have any questions. I'd be happy to provide clarifications on kind of what I'm working on, what I'm thinking about when I'm playing this tune. This is a great tune for working on your trills, for your slides, for your pull-offs, for some cool right hand techniques as well with your drop thumbs. So there's a lot of like texture that the song provides that goes maybe, it's a cool tune. I could just keep on saying that over and over again. I don't know how many times you want to hear me say that. So anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this video and this lesson.